Welcome back to another video, guys. I am Brian Pierce, your purveyor of awesome. So welcome back. If you guys if you found this because of a potential Whoop strap search or PNOE search and haven't seen any of my other videos, know that I do have a Whoop strap playlist that you can go find some of the other reviews. I have been wearing one for maybe 6 months now, since early September. Done quite a few videos and talked about some of the strain that has gone on there, so check those out. If you have watched some of my other videos and you are following and a subscriber, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you coming back. What have y'all been up to? Are you a Whoop strap wearer? Talk to me. Let me know what the heck is going on. If you're kind of wondering what is all this PNOE stuff that you're talking about, remember, go back to November 2019. Whoop did a podcast with one of the people from PNOE. They did a couple blog posts, and they talked about how the test that you can do, a resting metabolic rate and an active metabolic rate with PNOE, can be integrated into the Whoop strap algorithms for you so that you can have a much more personalized base for all of your metrics to come off of. So this integration has not happened yet. So this is going to be talking about my results from me doing the PNOE test, the RMR and the AMR, and then how it went, the results that I received, and potentially how I'm going to be moving forward with that information. What is PNOE? Well, they are a company that make a cardio metabolic analyzer. That's very scientific-y. The thing is this is a portable version of a cardio metabolic analyzer, right? So they had to be in very specific locations. They were kind of always in labs because they were so big and so crazy. So PNOE went around and decided to make a portable version of that. And so this is the first portable cardio metabolic analyzer. This makes these type of tests a little bit more reachable for people like myself and you who are watching and might be interested in this, because the lab tests that you had to go to before were so freaking expensive, where this machine is $3,000 if you want to purchase it and run it out of your company and then go do tests. Now, they're probably going to charge you $100, $200, $300 to do this test, but in the long run, that's way more than probably the thousands of dollars that these companies would have charged in the past when they had to have rooms dedicated to these kind of tests. So why would you go and do one of those kind of things? So doing these metabolic tests helps you as an individual understand more about your physiology and what's going on there, and potential caloric needs, how and when you might fatigue, and then how you're going to recover from that fatigue. Once you have that information, you can kind of adjust your training and your nutrition to figure out which direction you might want to go or need to go. If you're still here, congratulations. I appreciate you waiting this long. Everything that I just said was a little sciencey. Now, why did I do this test? Well, for me, I have really enjoyed not just wearing the Whoop strap and getting that data, but I've enjoyed talking about it with you, the community, and learning how y'all are using that. The Facebook group that is out there is very good. I found out that there is a PNOE Facebook group as well. I've joined that. So having discussions there has been a lot of fun, talking about these videos. But for me, I really wanted to have a better understanding of where I'm at, a base level of, for all this fitness that I've done, throughout my life, the ebbs and flows, where am I at right now? And also with the integration that's going to come, I'm going to be able to have a better understanding of my caloric base needs, and then the calorie metrics that Whoop is going to be able to give me throughout the day is going to be 2.5 times more precise. And then also the recovery metrics, the strain metrics, and the sleep metrics, all of those are going to be that much more precise and specific to me. And those are things that I want, and I'm going to be able to use that data to continue to figure things out. Now, again, I am not a professional athlete. I'm a guy who enjoys CrossFit. I coach CrossFit. I like to challenge and test myself. I've signed up for a Spartan race. I race dirt bikes. There's a lot of ways that I like to just physically challenge myself. Well, a lot of that is physical and mental, but this is a way for me to kind of have an idea of where I'm at and what I might need to work on. When it came time to schedule my tests, and I bought the $97 special price that PNOE had because of Whoop, I was able to find a list that they had, and in North Texas, there was actually only one place that was going to be really close to me. I think there's only 2 and 3 in Texas, and one of them is in Frisco, Sport Speed Lab. So any of the video that you're going to see from me at that test for the resting metabolic rate and then the active metabolic rate are there at Sport Speed Lab in in Frisco, Texas. I am telling you what I am learning. By no means am I a scientist, and this is not my profession. I am definitely going through this journey trying to educate myself more on all of this. So my resting metabolic rate and my AMR tests were scheduled for 9 a.m. in the morning. Rules for them were I needed to be 12 hours fasted, so 9 a.m. 9 p.m. was the last time that I could eat anything and or drink anything. And then also, I could have water. And then no caffeine in the morning of. So once I woke up, I did coach that morning. That was really tough having no caffeine and going through that. I thought it would be a lot harder, but actually the fasting aspect of 12 hours was pretty simple. And then no caffeine, again, I thought I'd be a little bit more bleh, but it really wasn't that bad. The tests were interesting, so let's talk a little bit about how each test worked.
Not the sexiest, but RMR done.
I'm gonna look at my notes a little bit here so that I get this more specific for you guys, but why do the resting metabolic rate test? So it gives you a better idea of the fuel sources your body uses during daily activities, a better look at your overall metabolic health, not just from the active state that you're gonna be in during the other test. And then it also starts to pinpoint more nutrition requirements based on metabolic rates and fitness goals. So the resting test was the coach Tommy that was there that was doing the test for me that you see in some of the videos. He had me lay down in a dark room for 10 minutes, no mask at this point. This is just a time to start getting your body to kind of come to a resting state. And then in the next 10 minutes, he came in and put the PNOE mask on me. So this was to, again, kind of get me in that resting state and kind of just see what are my baseline metrics? What's my body doing when it's at a rested state? Once that was over, then we went to the treadmill and got ready for the active test. So the active test was something that it graded your physiology. So it gave you an A to D in certain areas, which I'll show you in a bit. The overarching aerobic health and metabolic efficiency. So aerobic health, ability to work at high intensities, and then metabolic efficiency. Caloric burn during movement and whether you burn more or less calories than someone within the same age, gender, and weight. So how efficiently are you using food? Are you eating enough? Are you overeating? Are you overtraining? Are you doing the wrong type of training, too much cardio, too much strength training for your goals? And then in the aerobic health, ability to work out at high intensity. So how do you do when the intensity goes up? Subset results, so some other things that they did grade you on were respiratory fitness, cardio fitness, breathing and cognition, respiration and mobility, type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers, and then fat burning efficiency and cellular health. The fat burning efficiency was interesting when you look at the preliminary results before you send those off to PNOE. And if anybody wants to see those, like the actual results, let me know those. That's a PDF that luckily Sports Speed Lab sent to me. I would love to discuss that with someone if you understand how to read that data. Now, PNOE gave me their interpretation of that data, but there's so much more, I'm sure, to understand about the graphs that I'm showing you right now. So if somebody wants to take some time to break that down with me and talk to me about what we're looking at more, Tommy did do that with me, but again, like I'm just kind of trying to learn about this. Let me know, reach out, message me however you want to get in touch, Instagram, all that jazz. And I'd love to be able to have a little bit more of a one-on-one discussion with somebody to learn. They also gave you a training program for your results. Said you wanted, I put mine in as conditioning, like that was my goal. Because of the fact that I don't really have a goal, like I'm feeling pretty good. I think one of the things I'm working on is a little bit more upper body strength, which is why on Tuesdays and Fridays now after I coach, I do more traditional chest, tris, and bis kind of stuff. Again, that's just a little bit more specific. After that, it's just moving and being fit. At the end, they talk to you a little bit about training plans and nutrition. And so that's what we're getting out of this active metabolic test. And now we'll talk about some of the results that I got, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. Here we go. So my metabolism, looking at the RMR, my metabolism uses 84% fats and 16% carbs. That's good. There's no essential carbs, right? Carbs just kind of like come in. We've learned that we can use those for performance purposes to help our body quickly when it needs fuel, but we should use fat majority of the time for fuel unless we're going for performance purposes. So good that I'm using 84% fats. My metabolism is slow, potentially due to overeating, and a little bit more on that later, but this is kind of where the RMR and then the AMR come in cohesively to tell you more about your metabolism and other parts. So if we look at the active metabolic test, my aerobic health was an A. I kind of thought that I'd be like a C plus, B minus student, if you will, across the board. And I actually fluctuated a little bit within that. So aerobic health was an A. Metabolic efficiency was a C. I got an A in cardio fitness and then a B across the board after that, and these are those subsets that we were talking about. Now if you look at my muscle fibers, it says that I have about 60% type 2 muscle fibers and about 40% type 1. So type 1, you know, more endurance, long distance kind of stuff. And these are actually the muscle fibers that are recruited first when you're needing to use your muscles. And then if you don't have what you need there, that's when type 2 is really brought in and recruited to make sure that whatever you're trying to do, if you're trying to lift something heavy, you're trying to move fast, you're trying to explode, that's when type 2 kind of comes in. It was also interesting researching this, that type 1 actually has more blood flow, where type 2 doesn't have nearly as much blood flow as type 1. So there's a lot there to unpack. I'm sure there are doctors and scientists very specific to even just muscle fibers in general. Learning this much about the body is kind of blowing my mind. So once you get these results from PNOE, you actually get a chance to set up a consultation for about 30 minutes with someone there. And it was a very good conversation. And I like the fact that there's nothing very personal. They don't try to judge you, right? They just tell you where it's at. See, you said your goals were X, this is Y, how do we get you to Z? Kind of a situation. And then you could ask questions. And so you could see it's like with an A and B across the board on most things, I was like, what's up with the C? Metabolic efficiency, and why do I suck at that? Well, not suck, but I got a C. What's that mean? I asked that question, and it said, gave me 3 different reasons that could potentially be what it is. Too much cardio, not enough strength training, potentially under eating and or overtraining. The one thing that I question is I wonder if the too much cardio, not enough strength training. It seems that my type 2 muscles being 60% of my muscle fibers, that I am doing a good amount of strength training. So I wonder if that is a good correlation to think about. It's like I have 60% type 2 muscle fiber, which means I do more strength training and it's a little bit less endurance based. But my metabolism could be because of the fact that I do too much cardio. It's like that doesn't seem to be the case in the numbers. Now, if I'm reading into that wrong, or if there's more to look at in that specific relationship, leave that in the comments below. Under eating and then overtraining. I don't think I'm overtraining because I go in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I coach on Tuesday before class. Take a rest day on Thursday. I might do something light with work, but most of the time I don't. Friday and Saturday, whatever that looks like, and then Sunday is typically a rest day. If I do have a dirt bike race on Sunday, most of the time Saturday is kind of that travel/rest day. So I don't think I'm overtraining. So if I were to use those, I would think I'm under eating, and I could see that because I don't count my macros. I don't weigh and measure my food. Like I kind of like know I feel like I know how to look at food and have an idea of like what I'm eating. I try to make sure that if I do have fruit, it's a whole fruit, so I'm getting all the nutrients that are to help my body digest and use that fruit properly, and it's not just like a sugar rush as if I was eating a bunch of gummy bears. I do eat a lot of protein and fat throughout the day. I'm a big cottage cheese and hard-boiled egg eater. Typically lunches and dinners for me are where I come a little bit like, a little more balanced in that sense, opposed to protein and fat specific. I'd say dinner's the biggest thing because I don't want to bug my wife, right? Like, I personally don't want to start cooking all my dinners, and I don't want to ask her to do that because she's the one dealing with the kids all the time. So I don't know that I'm at a place yet to be able to do that. But this might tell me that if I truly want to be better at my metabolic efficiency, then I might need to do that. Sucks. So what's coming up next? That's a great question. You know, I am really enjoying where I'm at right now. One of my visions, I'm trying not to call them goals, my vision for 2020 is consistency. I do feel like I have found a very good sleep pattern that is working so that my environment is decent and that my preparation to get myself into good sleep is working. I'm trying to do certain things within work as a web developer to heighten some of the skills that I know I need to work on, and that fits into a certain process during the week. I'm trying to be a good husband and a good father, and I think those are places where I know I need to be a little bit more I need to flex more in there. There are times when my wife's going to need more of my attention, the kids are going to need more, and they're going to need less, and I need to be conscious of that. So communication is going to be key there. Trying to figure that out. I think when it comes to Whoop and everything, the integration is going to happen soon, sometime in March. So once that integration happens, if there's anything to relay to you guys that I learned, obviously I'll tell you about that. The one big thing I am excited about is I did buy the Kickstarter, the Virtue Athletics. So what will eventually be, when they come to market, under $100 functional fitness shoe. I'm super excited about this. Functional fitness shoes costing $120 seems absolutely ridiculous to me. I go to the Reebok outlet store and I go get the $50, $60, you know, whatever is the Nanos from 3 years ago that are still being brand new made because it works. I don't know, man. I just don't see, like, these shoes are minimalist shoes. I get it. There is some technology in there, but I think that they're completely overpriced. Now, if you've got thoughts on that, again, leave them in the comments, talk to me about it. But I'm excited to get those in, because in the long run, once these are at market, they'll be under $100 for a functional fitness shoe. I did the Kickstarter, so I think I paid 85 bucks, 75 bucks. I am going to definitely do kind of what I did with the Whoop strap. I'm going to get them, I'm going to use them for a week, I'm going to do a review, I'm going to use them for a month, I'm going to do another review and just kind of talk about that. So maybe a little bit more CrossFit centric and how those work there, so we'll kind of see how that goes and how you guys respond to that. But please, questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for paying attention. I've had good responses as well to my 4 tips for better sleep while in the bed. So this isn't necessarily about environment as much as it is and preparation, as it is literally physically things that you can pay attention to while you're in the bed, and make sure you're not stressing things out that have helped me a little bit. So if that sounds like interesting to you, go check those out. Check out the rest of the videos, and I'll be putting up seat time stuff as well, riding dirt bikes with myself, riding dirt bikes with Liam, going to the National Enduro here in late March. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time, and I just remember, thanks for paying attention, and I'll see you guys on the internet. Peace.